Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast, episode number 5. This episode is called Buford, McLeroy's Funeral Home and Used Car Emporium. This is Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. I don't reckon I know what a podcast is, but whatever it is, this here is one. And now, two fellers that make a cow go oink and a pig go moo, Bill Watt and Barry Patilla. He is Bill Watt.
And he's Barry Patilla.
Hey, Billy, how are you, sir?
I am A-OK, and how are you?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, doing good. Seems like, the older I get, spend more and more time at doctor's offices, doctor's appointments. But it's okay. You know how that is. You've been doing that for a long time. So, other than that, doing good.
I'm trying to get. I've been diagnosed with sleep apnea now, Barry.
Yeah. Do you have the mask and all this good stuff?
Oh well, I've got the nozzle thing for the. It's a mask. It's a tight mask, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But
it'd be hilarious if your wife one night while you're asleep, you got that thing on, if she takes the water hose and disconnects it from the machine and just sticks the water hose into it and then turns it on full tilt.
Okay?
Get full tilt into your nose. And I think it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be great.
Hopefully she'll hear that, and maybe she'll do it.
Well, yeah. Give her an idea. Give her an idea. I think it'd be fantastic. Well, Bill, it's just that time of year. Graduation time. The past 2-3 weeks got high school graduations, college graduation, which you know about because you're a college instructor. And so did you have a graduation ceremony there at the Bevel State? Did you have any students that qualified to graduate?
We did have a few that sure did. Yes, we did. We do every year.
That's great.
Every semester we have people to graduate.
Well, I'm referring to your students in particular. I mean, they learned enough to graduate.
Yeah, I let them go on because I'm tired of dealing with them.
Well, I think, we've seen a lot of that and some of the lower grades, unfortunately, probably, but maybe. But anyway, I wanted to share, I was thinking about the graduation, and it brought back memories of my graduation back many, 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 many years ago from dear old Walker High School, now Jasper High School, but at Walker High School at the time. We were told... And, the graduation ceremony itself was being videotaped, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We were warned for whatever reason. Now, part of the experience of graduation is at the end of the ceremony, you throw your cap up in the air, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's tradition. Yeah. You just do that. But the administration, the principal at Walker High School at the time, we were told not to do that. And I don't know the reasoning. I remember
something about that.
I don't know the reasoning behind it, but we were told not to do that. As a matter of fact, we were told, of course, we're no longer students there, so they can't punish us if we do it. They can't, send us to, detention on Saturday because we don't go there anymore. It's over. But we were told that if we threw our caps up in the air at the end of the ceremony, and again, the ceremony was being videotaped, we were told that they would go on the videotape, take a still photograph of us throwing our cap up in the air, each individual student, and that photograph would be placed, get this, it would be placed in our permanent record, and we would not be able to get a job. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life?
Well, that's a scare tactic I've ever heard.
Oh, it really is. I can't remember at the time. I think we actually probably did throw our caps up. I can't remember. But can you imagine? You go in for an interview for a job, right? And they're looking at your, I see you're honor society, participated in civic clubs, excellent student, great marks, everything looks, but what's this? This photograph, that's you? Oh, it appears as though you threw your cap up at the end of the ceremony. Well, that changes things. Afraid we're not going to be able to use you at all. As a matter of fact, I need you to leave my office immediately. Security! I mean...
If you'll remember, and I'm sure a lot of folks have chosen to forget about this, here in this town where we used to, do a radio show.
Right.
In Jasper, Alabama, back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s, yes. And
where there was a couple of weeks there where actually we were piped into the local high school. We did the high school announcements.
Yeah, Didn't we do something or say something maybe that where they changed their mind? Maybe they thought that this was not a good idea at some point, and so after a couple of weeks they stopped.
I'm certain they thought it wasn't a good idea.
But something seems like something was said, or I don't know exactly what it was. But yeah, we were piped in. I'd forgotten about that. We did the announcements, I guess.
I'm sure it was something we mangled up the Pledge of Allegiance or something. I don't know what we did.
Or made light of it, or did something that the administration found.
We did do that. But I want to know something about graduation. What is it about now that all the graduating seniors now seem to always have these, they take these glamour shots?
Glamour shots? Is this
glamour photos?
I haven't seen those. Is that different? Do you take your own photos now instead of the people coming in?
Well, you get to get somebody, a professional, to take pictures, and you do these glamour shots that they send these invitations out with. I mean, you've never gotten those?
I have not seen those, no. With us, it was where they retouched our faces to get rid of the acne is about all they did.
Well, some might do that, but I mean, it's of course not. And we also get a lot of, invitations from people that you really don't know that well, if at all, because it's about trying to, get graduation gifts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gotta send some money or a gift or something. I think you should send a bad graduation gift on purpose. I think that'd be funny. Hey, what'd you get from Billy? Well, it looks like some roll-on deodorant.
A pair of tweezers.
Yeah. Get rid of that unibrow. I haven't seen those. I don't get invitations, I guess, to graduation. Nobody wants to be there. I mean,
I know this is not exactly a nice segue here, but we've kind of been talking about this a little bit here lately. Because and the older one gets the one you start to think about legacies, right? You start thinking about things.
Yeah, you do.
Like that.
How you're going to be.
Am I going to be remembered after I'm gone?
Yes.
Who's going to remember me? Whatever.
Right.
Legacies, things you're named after. People that name after. You get a highway named after you, or a bridge named after you.
Yeah.
Or some building or whatever. There's got to be some though that come to mind of places that you wouldn't want named after you, where you wouldn't want to be a part of your legacy.
Yeah, I would think maybe the Barry Patella sewage treatment facility would not be flattering after you die.
I think maybe
you know what I mean?
It'd be something like the Bill Watt landfill.
Yeah. Bill Watt sanitary landfill.
Sanitary landfill.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
it just doesn't have a big sign, the Bill Watt, maybe your picture on the sign, Bill Watt sanitary landfill.
Could be, or maybe a statue.
Bring me your waste.
Yeah. But have you ever, and I know for people that, if you ever traveled south, and I believe it's on I-65 on the stretch from Birmingham to Montgomery.
Okay.
There's a portion of the highway that there's a sign on the side of the road, and I forget what year it was, but that was proclaimed to be War on Terror Highway.
War on Terror Highway. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
It just sounds. I know what they were going for, patriotic, blah blah. But it just comes across as, if you think about it, comes across as kind of silly. I think. I don't know. Silly sounding.
These things occur to you, what's my legacy going to be? What are you going to name after me?
Right.
What's and people will get a bridge named after him, or
a bridge would be. I'd love to have a bridge named after me. That'd be great. I think that would be fantastic.
What kind of bridge would it be?
Probably an old wooden covered bridge.
Wooden covered bridge.
Something like that. A drawbridge would be great. We have down here, there's a number of drawbridges, which I love. Where they have to stop traffic, and then they raise up so a boat can go under, a sailboat or something can go through, and then they put it down. Saw a video of one of those. I guess the drawbridge person wasn't paying attention, and there was a person walking on the bridge, and they went up, and it was just, It didn't end well. It didn't end well. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Jeez.
But what else? Just your legacy. How do you want to be remembered? It's something that will stand the test of time after you're gone. The Bill Watt Sexually Transmitted Diseases Clinic.
I knew you were going to go there.
There's where you would have a statue. Right there. Bill standing there. Welcome to my STD clinic. would be some good things, like you say, a bridge, a building, good stuff. But yeah, some things that you would not necessarily be proud to have named after you.
You know, Barry, back in the day, back when we were in small town radio, you know, there's something unique about radio in small towns, especially when it was back when the AM and FM. Of course, AM's still around, but not really.
Yeah, you had these different type of programs that were geared. A lot of it for older people. They wanted to get information. They weren't so worried about music, this sort of thing. They wanted to know what was going on in the community.
Right. Yeah, and so you had. I mean, it was not unlike you'd be playing some music and then have to stop and do the Farm and Home Report and give soybean prices and stuff. Or maybe you might have to do in drive time in the afternoon. I remember one station I worked at. We're at 4:25 in the afternoon, what we consider what they call drive time, of folks coming home from work and all that kind of stuff. And right there in the middle of drive time, you had funeral announcements.
Well, you know, there's nothing like getting off work. You're feeling good. You're ready to go home and rest, relax a little bit. Maybe put a couple of steaks on the grill, some burgers or something. You're feeling good. You turn on the radio, and there's the funeral announcements, just to get you pumped and ready for the evening.
Yeah. So it was not uncommon for us to come out of the funeral announcements with something like "Stairway to Heaven" from Led Zeppelin or something.
Yeah. Well, that would be very appropriate to come at that. Hopefully climbing the stairway to heaven and not an escalator down, but you know.
Right. So anyway, we'd like to do a little bit of that. I mean, because you know, and again, you know, every small town has got, you know, a Jack's or some place where old farts gather and solve all the world's problems.
They do. You know? They talk,
and that's
and
what we are, a couple old farts.
Have a cup of coffee and discuss the problem. Here's what they ought to do right here. I'm telling you.
Here's what they tell me. They tell me.
They tell me.
And why the hell they're telling you, who knows? And only you.
Yeah, because anyway, they can tell you, but there's nothing you can do to change it. So
except run your mouth. So
exactly.
Which we all do. So anyway, we'd like to do a little bit of a snippet of that to give you kind of a, you know, if you've not experienced that, to kind of give you, you know, what it's like to hear these kinds of things on small town radio.
Yeah, well,
it's still today in some small town markets.
Absolutely. I think we need to bring in it's a Buford McLeroy, who was a local funeral home director. Also has a used car lot, Bill, and he's got some funeral announcements for us. I think death announcements.
Yeah, quite the entrepreneur. I mean, not only is he a funeral home director, but also sells used cars.
Well, thank you, Bill, for having me on the program. Buford McLeroy from Buford McLeroy Funeral Home and Used Car Emporium.
Yeah, got their used cars there. You got the used cars there right in front of the funeral home there, Buford?
Yeah, you know, not enough people keeling over. Got to have a backup plan. Got to sell some automobiles, fine quality, top-notch automobiles.
Sometimes, I wonder, folks, people like to be buried with stuff, maybe to prepare for the afterlife. You ever buried somebody in one of your used cars?
Well, that's a mighty fine idea there, Bill. We could put somebody inside the car, dig a big old hole, I have to buy 2 or 3 burial plots, but we'll get a crane and we'll lower that car down in maybe your dream car. We got your dream car at Buford McLeroy Funeral Home and Used Car Emporium, and we'll lower it into the ground, and you'll be buried forever in the automobile of your dreams.
Ah, man, that's a great idea. Now, listen, tell me, have you got maybe a couple of funeral announcements for us today?
I do. We've got some folks that have passed away recently, and we'll share that for you right now. Mr. Johnny Simmons, age 47, from over on Oak Grove Street. Mr. Simmons died of a heart attack. Mr. Simmons passed away at the residence of Alan and Sylvia Wilson. Now, it's important for me to point out at this time that Mr. Wilson was not at home at the time of Mr. Simmons' untimely demise. Now, it's not for me to say, it's not for me to speculate, but I just have to be wondering what Mr. Simmons and Mrs. Wilson was doing that caused Mr. Simmons' ticker to give out in such an untimely fashion. Again, not for me to speculate, none of my business, but you have to wonder, Bill, what were they doing?
Oh, well, I think we all probably are kind of following your train of thought here, but so explain to me, so Mr. Simmons, the one who passed away at the age of 47, 1947 was at the home of a Mr. and Mrs. Wilson when Mrs. Wilson was there, but Mr. Wilson wasn't there.
Mr. Wilson, I have to wonder if Mr. Wilson had been at home taking care of Mrs. Wilson's wants, needs, and desires, maybe Mr. Simmons would still be around with us today. But again, I'm not trying to place blame, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm not even going to mention it, but one has to wonder.
Oh, yeah, one does have to wonder. But, well, okay, so Mr. Simmons passed away, and we're sorry to hear that.
That's Johnny Simmons, age 47 of Oak Grove Street. Now, we have the death announcement of Mr. Thomas Garvey. Mr. Thomas Garvey, age 102, of the Sleepy Junction community. My autopsy showed that Mr. Garvey died of natural causes, but in his medical records, Bill, I found something mighty peculiar. Seems he had the COVID vaccine a few years back. So I have to wonder if it was actually the vaccine that killed him. You know, that COVID vaccine, take it, you people falling over left and right, and, you know, they can also track you if you take that COVID vaccine. They can keep track of your movements. That's why you should never get any kind of a vaccine, because the government can track your movements, you see. They got a little microchip in the vaccine that goes into your veins, you see, and then they can follow you around and keep track of wherever you go. Maybe they should have been keeping track of Mr. Simmons to know he was over at Mrs. Wilson's house. That might have helped them out just a little bit. But again, that vaccine could be responsible. But on the death certificate, it's going to say he died of natural causes. Wink, wink. That's Mr. Thomas Garvey, age 102, of the Sleepy Junction community.
So just to make sure that we don't get confused here, Mr. Garvey was not at the home of Mrs. Wilson, right?
Not that I'm aware of, but these days people do all kind of wild and crazy things, so I don't know for sure.
Well, I'm certainly, I appreciate you sharing that with us. And,
I think that's what they call them, negatroys.
Yeah, okay. Once again, give us that, give us a little bit about your business now, your used car lot and a funeral home parlor.
Now, Bill, we have the funeral parlor, but out front we got the used car Emporium, and I tell you, we do not tamper with the odometers on any of our vehicles. I assure you that those odometers were already tampered with before we came into possession of them. And also, now these automobiles are clean on the inside of the car, outside of the car, and the engine compartment were all thoroughly cleaned by the floodwaters of Hurricane Katrina a few years back. So you're getting your top-notch clean automobile at Buford, McLeroy's Funeral Home and Used Car Emporium. So come see us for all of your transportation needs.
All right, sir. That sounds like one heck of a bargain there. You get a car, maybe you get a funeral plot as well.
Well, Bill, that's a mighty fine idea. You come in, you buy you a top-notch quality automobile today at our facility, and we will throw in the deluxe package of a funeral service and a burial plot absolutely free and at no cost to you down here at Buford McElroy Funeral Home and Used Car Emporium.
All right, you heard him, folks. It's one heck of a deal.
It really is. But, Bill, and Barry, I certainly want to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to appear on your program. We're going to bring it back the old school, the old days of sharing the funeral announcements, the death announcements of the folks on the radio. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your program.
Well, you know, at McElroy Funeral Home and used car dealership there,
Emporium. Get it right. It's Emporium.
I'm sorry, Emporium. I'm sorry, Emporium.
There's a difference between a dealership. Dealership, they don't care about you. And the Emporium, I'm not in the business to make money. I'm in the business to make friends. And hopefully, when you pass away at some point in the future, your relatives, your loved ones will come see me, and I fix you up and put you on the ground.
Buy here, and you pay here in more ways than one.
That's right. Buy here, pay here, die here. That's what we say here at Buford McElroy Funeral Home and Used Car Emporium.
Due to the controversy surrounding artificial intelligence, we would like to take a moment to let our listeners know that Bill and Barry's Low Budget podcast is recorded without the use of artificial intelligence. As a matter of fact, Bill and Barry's Low Budget podcast is recorded without intelligence of any kind.
You know, it seems like in this day and age that there seems to be a lot of stupidity. Of course, there's always stupidity.
Always, but it, like you say, this particular time that we are in, it's every day and it's everywhere, it seems like.
So it would seem, and it seems like some people take stupidity like, it's a challenge. Like, well, okay, I can do something more stupid than that.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And they will, and I'll show you. I can do or say something incredibly stupid. Just watch.
Would you like a couple of examples of people's stupidity?
I'd like for you to go for it. Yes, sir.
A medical student was doing a rotation in toxicology at the Poison Control Center. Okay?
All right.
Woman called in very upset because she caught her little daughter eating ants.
Eating like the little ants that crawl around on the ground. Right, gotcha.
Yep, eating ants, yes. Well, the med student quickly reassured her that, while not encouraging it, said ants aren't harmful and there'd be no need to bring her daughter into the hospital.
Probably packed with protein, I would think, but go ahead.
She calmed down and at the end of the conversation happened to mention that she gave her daughter some ant poison to eat in order to kill the ants.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh, my goodness.
The student told the mother that she better bring her daughter to the emergency room right now.
Wow, yeah, stupidity, absolutely. So the ants would have been fine, but she gave the kid ant poison to kill the ants. Wow, okay, yeah, common sense. Some people are not blessed with the common sense gene. I don't know if that runs in the family or what. Okay.
Drug possession defendant Christopher Jansen, he was on trial in Pontiac, Michigan, said he'd been searched without a warrant.
Okay.
Well, the prosecutor said the officer didn't need a warrant because a bulge in Christopher's jacket could have been a gun.
Okay.
Well, nonsense, said Christopher. He said he happened to be wearing the same jacket that day in court. He handed it over so the judge could see it. And the judge discovered a packet of cocaine in the pocket.
I think probably...
That's why he required a 5-minute recess to compose himself.
I think the gun might have been preferable to the cocaine. What do you think would have a bigger penalty, a bigger punishment, the gun or the cocaine?
Well, not encouraging someone to carry cocaine around their jacket, but yeah, in that instance, he's trying to make a point about the fact that there wasn't a gun, it was in fact cocaine. So the judge couldn't contain himself, apparently, and had to be recessed while he laughed. He was laughing hysterically.
Wow.
And one more. This guy was on trial, named Dennis Newton, was on trial for the armed robbery of a convenience store in a district court when he fired his lawyer. Okay?
Fired his lawyer.
Assistant District Attorney Larry Jones said that Newton, age 47, was doing a fair job of defending himself until the store manager testified that Newton was the robber. Well, Newton jumped up, accused the woman of lying, and then said, "I should have blown your blankety-blank head off."
That's good.
He paused and quickly added, "If I'd been the one that was there."
If I'd been the one who was there, but I wasn't. So I couldn't have blown your blankety-blank head off because it wasn't me. That's good.
I guess I don't have to tell you how that ended.
Well, there's a saying that a person who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. And I think that applies right there. Now, this story right here, I don't know. You could say this was kind of stupid, but in a way, it's kind of might be genius. Police in China detained a 38-year-old man for breaking and entering. He was accused of stealing a motorcycle and robbing 2 stores. Though the crimes were ordinary, his motive wasn't. The man told police, "I want my father-in-law to know that I am not a good person, so they will suggest my wife and I divorce and set me free." So he must be in a pretty bad marriage. He's doing some pretty desperate things to try to get out of the marriage, and so maybe that's not stupid. Maybe that's pretty smart.
Well, I got one more.
Go for it.
A guy walked into a little corner store with a shotgun, demanded all the cash from the cash drawer, and after the cashier put the cash in a bag, the robber happened to see a bottle of scotch right over there behind the counter on the shelf.
Yeah.
He told the cashier to put it in the bag as well, but the cashier refused and said, "Because I don't believe you're over 21. The robber said he was, but the clerk still refused to give it to him because he didn't believe him.
Yeah.
At this point, the robber took his driver's license out of his wallet and gave it to the clerk.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Clerk looked it over, agreed that the man was in fact over 21. He put the scotch in the bag. Robber then ran from the store with his loot. Cashier promptly called the police, gave the name and address of the robber, and he was arrested 2 hours later.
Oh, that's good. Wow, that's stupid. That reminds me of the story of the guy that went in to rob a bank, and he wrote a note, but he wrote the note on the back of one of his bank deposit slips with his name and address and phone number and all that good stuff.
Oh,
man. Remember back when we did our radio show, we had a saying, and if you remember, you can say it with me, Bill. Crime doesn't pay. If you're stupid. Yeah,
yes,
and that absolutely. A lot of stupid criminals. Most criminals, not most, but a lot of criminals are pretty stupid. Do some pretty stupid things. You got to be stupid. You have the criminal element, criminal lifestyle anyway, I guess. But
we're not encouraging the criminal lifestyle. That's for sure.
No. In the end, most of the time, it doesn't pay. I've watched enough Dateline, enough Law and Order to know that chances are it's not going to pay off.
Barry, we have the education department that apparently is being run by the wife of the head of WWE, Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon, yes. Mm-hmm.
I've come up with just a couple of things here, some changes we could make, maybe say under a government run by pro wrestlers.
I think that that's something that is possibly going to happen, given the fact that she's the wife of Vince McMahon.
Well, and not only that, but also understand that the president himself is a big fan of pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah. He was actually there in the ring, I think, with Vince McMahon. Didn't they have some sort of a wrestling match at one point?
So let me just give you a couple of things, see what you think about a couple of changes we could make under a government run by pro wrestlers.
Okay, here we go.
President now shouts the entire State of the Union address with his face 18 inches from the TV camera.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And this particular president, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Here's another one. Free school lunches destined for the needy instead go to the biggest, meanest, stupidest kid in each school.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's good. They don't even have to bully to get extra food. It's just given to them.
That's right. And a couple more. Sex scandals now involve even skankier women.
That's good. Well, I mean, it's not good, but I mean, yeah. You see what I'm saying. I'm not a fan of skanky women, but you understand what I'm saying.
I think.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, all right.
And during a House debate, there's a lot of action in the House.
Oh, yeah.
During a House debate, it's acceptable to yield to the gentleman wielding a folding chair.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And if it gets too testy, because, a lot of arguing, a lot of going back and forth, it's very chaotic. If it gets, you really get into it with one of your fellow congressmen, fellow senators, just take the folding chair and go and whack them upside the head with it.
The thing about it is, I mean, even if the government sucked, it would at least be entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. Ratings on C-SPAN would soar. I mean, it would be. I mean, that'd be the only thing people watch. Forget about the regular programming. C-SPAN. Hey, hurry up! We got to get home and watch C-SPAN.
Just a few suggestions. May catch on. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's terrific. It would be, like you say, though, very entertaining. You've seen Parliament, in England. I mean, they get really rowdy. So they could take up some of these suggestions as well.
I mean, even maybe IRS audits.
Yeah.
They might have, instead of, when you're audited and they find something, they can just give you a body slam.
Well, an IRS audit would be stressful enough anyway. But knowing that if you're sitting in your living room and they're doing the audit, or you're at their office or whatever, and they find something that, you could be seriously injured, then, that would just add to the stress, I think. Maybe they'll pick you up and slam you into like a folding table and break, and you're on the floor. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, the body slam.
Next time, itemize.
I'm so glad
we had this time together. Boy, it's amazing how time flies.
Sing a song.
Yeah, time flies when we're doing the podcast. Hard to believe we are out of time, but we are. And we certainly appreciate the folks tuning in to this latest episode of Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. We, as always, love to hear from the fine folks.
Yes, we want to hear from you.
Bill,
we want, if you want advice, if you want maybe just you want to, we want advice from us, or you've got something that maybe that you'd like us to do, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Maybe you need some advice on life situations or whatever. Bill Watt has been to so many therapists, he's got all the answers. So it's Bill and Barry podcast at gmail.com. Bill and Barry podcast at gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to support the program, we would love to hear from you, and we'll give you a shout out on the show. Just contact us, same email, Bill and Barry podcast at gmail.com. Or if you're a business and would like to sponsor the show, get some advertising on the program, get in touch with us as well.
Sounds good. We'll do it again, my friend.
Absolutely. We'll have another Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast for you here soon. So join us for that. And
what the is wrong with you?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, sounds good, bud. We'll do it again soon.
Absolutely, we will. We'll have another edition of Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast coming up soon. So join us for that. Until then, take care. This has been Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. This has also been a total and complete waste of your time. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be back soon with another Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast.